I'm Amanda.
And I'm Charles.
This is the Capital Runway Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Capital Runway Podcast. Charles is out this week, so I have a very special guest host. Please say hello to Ryan Burdick. Hello.
Hey, everybody. I am the person behind the scenes for the Capital Runway Podcast, but today I'm the co-host because we're going to be talking to Rob Diaz from CBP.
Yes, I'm very excited about this conversation. It's one we've been trying to get recorded for a while, so I think he's going to have some really interesting things to talk about, including our mobile passport control program, and I think global entry is also on the docket. So
yeah, and that's going to be perfect for this time of year. So take a listen, and we hope you enjoy.
All right. Well, today we are talking to Rob Diaz over at CBP. Welcome. What's your official title?
Assistant Port Director for Passenger Operations at the Area Port of Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, I know.
Well, welcome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been at CBP, what led you here?
I grew up in Florida. Loved it. Ended up going to college in Florida, and I knew all along I wanted to do something law enforcement, and was just going around talking to different entities within the school, University of Florida. And
Go Gators.
Go Gators, that's right. And someone pointed me in the direction of CBP, so U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Started in 2008. Did a lot of time in Port Canaveral, Orlando, and the area port of Tampa, various levels, officer, first line manager, second line manager. Eventually in 2020, it brought me to Washington, D.C. And I thought, I'll give it a shot at headquarters, because our headquarters location is in Washington, D.C. Got hired March 1st of 2020.
Oof.
And then a week later or so, COVID came, and I move up here with my family, and I'm working from my basement with a baby and a 2-year-old, teleworking, which was definitely a culture shock for me, because I was used to being around people, being around travelers, and I knew, all right, I got to get back out to the field, back out to passengers, and that's what led me to Dulles. There was an opening. I put in for the assistant port director position. I got it in June of 2021 and been here ever since. Love this port, very unique airport within CBP. It's the closest to headquarters. So you want to make sure all the work you do is professional and really represents the effort you put in. Because if you don't, someone's going to see that and they're going to remember that. And when the sunlight is shining on you, which it does in Dulles, you have to make sure everything you do is up to par.
Yeah, you clearly have done good work, though, because what a career so far at CBP. Can you summarize CBP's mission? It clearly resonates with you.
I love what I do, if you can't tell. It's very fun. We have a two-headed mission, and this mission often pulls you in opposite directions. It's enforcement, go catch bad guys, don't let terrorists in, go find criminals, make arrests, find prohibited material, find narcotics. Then at the same time, go facilitate travelers. You are the voice of the nation. You are the first person that someone sees when they come from an 8-hour flight from another country, and maybe they've never been here before. So the professionalism, the facilitation part of our mission that is so critical when you're welcoming people to the United States, and that's what we do. So,
yeah, you guys do so much more than just process passports, don't you?
Absolutely. There's a lot behind the scenes. We're trying to, and I mentioned facilitation because what you see on primary is you see one group of officers who are making that inspection to say, admit or refer to secondary. If they admit you, you're going to go grab your luggage, and if someone else within luggage and the exit doesn't select you for a bag exam, you're on your way. But before you even arrive, we know who's coming in. Airlines will send CBP the manifests, and we're looking at those manifests to determine, is there anyone we want to see ahead of time so that we can, process them efficiently. If we know we have to see you for an administrative process, let's do what we can ahead of time so when we do send you to secondary, we can process you efficiently and get you out the way. And then also spend the rest of our time really focusing on catching the unknown, catching the threat, someone who doesn't necessarily leave a breadcrumb behind that says, I'm a bad guy, refer me to secondary. Someone who an officer is going to pick up through conversation on primary. And every other passenger was just in such a great mood, ready to go. And this one just seems to be looking around. He's sweating, his carotid artery is pulsing. Something's off here. Let me send that person to secondary so we can talk to them a little more and see why they're showing signs of nervousness.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And I think CBP is just such a good asset, especially for our airports. You offer a lot of expedited programs to help just the average traveler. So could you talk a little bit about some of those programs and especially MPC?
Absolutely. Before I get to MPC, I'm going to talk about global entry because that'll eventually highlight a benefit of MPC. So global entry is a program for trusted travelers that will help you expedite through your primary processing experience. In order to become a global entry member, you will go online and apply for global entry. You'll do the online portion of the application. When that's complete and CBP does their vetting behind the scenes, you're going to get a conditionally approved email. And then once you're conditionally approved, that sets you up for the final portion where you do need to see an officer in person. We need to take your picture and your fingerprints or your biometrics and then complete the enrollment into the program. Because you come see us ahead of time, we know who you are. We've done vetting on you. So when you travel and you use global entry, you're someone who's been vetted ahead of time. So that makes you fall into a lower risk category. Not everyone is going to qualify for global entry. There's a standard there. So if you have global entry, you pass that standard. Does the primary officer need to talk to you as much as they would need to talk to someone who's coming into the country for the first time? No. So we've developed this program to let's see how many more people we can get in the global entry into this trusted traveler program. So when they enter, they can go through a more expedited processing experience. And then now our officers can focus more on the unknown person and ask them more questions. But for that trusted travel, for that benefit, you do have to pay. It's $120 per person. New this year, new October 1st, children under 18 are free.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's new this year. So we want more people to get into the global entry program. Part of the global entry program gives you the ability to use a mobile app. So global entry does have their own mobile app. It's new, been around since October of 2023. Here at Dulles, if we get 3,000 global entry members that come through, we'll have maybe 400 to 500 using global entry mobile application. They love it. Usually it's the crew members because they're the most seasoned traveler. So they walk down the escalator into the floor. They got their phone out. They're holding it, and it shows a global entry receipt. So by the time they get to the officer sees the person's face in front of them, sees their phone with the receipt. They just keep walking around all the booths straight to secondary to either grab their checked luggage or head to the exit.
Wow,
So,
that is such a good pro tip because, Amanda, you have global entry, don't you?
I do have global entry.
Yeah,
I
and
love
I'll
it.
say I love it as well.
It's
It has
the
been
best.
one of the best. So, Amanda, what's a couple of things you love about global entry?
Well, love skipping the line always, especially one time I flew into O'Hare and there was a very long line and because we were all travel delayed from snow and whatnot. So my companion had to go through the regular line and I got to go through global entry. And by the time they came through, I grabbed our bags and rebooked us on the next flight out and I had everything all set up and ready to go. So it saves so much time.
Yeah, and then to justify the price, I think a lot of people don't know that pre-check is included. So
Oh,
when
yeah.
you all are jealous in line and you're like, oh, look at those pre-check folks. If you have global entry, you have pre-check.
Absolutely.
yeah, that's true, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people who don't travel a lot internationally but travel a lot domestically will choose to get it. What I do recommend for those who are like my family and that you don't travel a lot internationally, but maybe you do once a year in the summer with your family, that's where the mobile passport application really helps because it is free. You don't need to come in and set an appointment with an officer ahead of time to qualify. You just download the app. And what we want you to do with CBP is we want you to download that app before you travel so you can set up your profile. Love working at Dulles because the stakeholders here with MWA, You tell them one thing you need help, and then all of a sudden you have 100 signs about MPC all over the place. There's even a QR code, and then they even gave me a little card that I wear on my chest with a mini QR code on it, so I can walk the floor and be like, hey, you're in the back of the U.S. citizen line. Why don't you join MPC? I don't want to. Nah. I'm like, do you see that line? That line is 2 rows deep. Your line is 20 rows deep. Are you sure? And then they can be like, okay, this uniformed officer is telling me about this program that I just read 20 signs and ignored. I think I'm going to listen to him and save some time.
Don't forget the video. There's a video, too.
Oh, yeah. The video is great. I love the old school infomercial approach. It's definitely eye-catching. I had someone comment, we do a lot of liaison movements here because we're so close to the national capital region, and one of the dignitaries that was being expedited saw the video and was like, is that your program? It's like, yes, that's our MPC program. With MPC, I can't over-explain the benefit for families. Can you imagine ending your vacation and then now you've got to round up 2 to 3 kids who are all wearing bunkers from sitting on an 8-hour flight? Instead of waiting in that line, plane lands. All right, kids, don't move. I'm going to take your picture. Pull out your app. They're still buckled up so they can't go anywhere. Picture of kid 1, picture of kid 2, picture mom, picture dad. Get to the terminal. Go to the shorter lane for MPC. When you get to the officer, this is why the officers love it. It doesn't matter whose picture we take out of the family. We take a picture, the whole family's information pops up on our screen. So we can go right into talking to the family and into our inspection. We don't have to take multiple pictures. We don't have to look at multiple documents. We can go right into the inspection. So that's where the enforcement benefit is for CBP, is that we're doing less administrative and we're going right into the conversation. Low risk, welcome back, have a good day. So if you're that family, would you rather do all the administrative piece while everyone's together sitting down and then join the shorter line, or would you rather, take your chances with that longer line? If we can get travelers signed up for these programs before they leave, then they can feel the benefit when they come back.
I agree. And I'm so glad that you've seen so much more MPC use.
Yeah. I want to back up really quickly to global entry. And you mentioned once you're conditionally approved, you have to come in and do an interview. But recently at Dulles, you guys have launched enrollment on departure. So can you talk a little bit about what that is?
Absolutely. So with the popularity of the global entry program, historically, there has been, in certain locations, a 3 to 6 month backlog trying to get an appointment. We started thinking about it after doing enrollment on arrival for a couple of years. Like, GE is so popular, why can't we do their GE before they leave? Plus, most people get to the airport early, they're anxious for that outbound flight. Maybe they're like my family, they get a little too early, and you've got some hours to kill. Well, then now you can finish your enrollment. So we came up with the idea, enrollment on departure. It's right across from gate B41, so it's in the AB terminal. It's for walk-ins. Like you don't have to have an appointment. So if you're traveling, we're currently open every day. So more to follow on that. We were the first port to do enrollment on departure.
Woohoo!
Yes,
that's right. ID number 1. And now other ports across the nation have either implemented it or they're looking into it. But it truly is. It's something so simple. Like, why didn't we think about it before? They're already sitting in front of the gate. They're looking at the signs that MWA made that are promoting global entry. They're promoting MPC. Why don't we just pull them aside and, take care of them while they wait?
So to clarify, it's for people who have already applied for global entry and are conditionally approved. They just need that interview portion, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We can find who they are in the system based on their confirmation number. So if they have the confirmation email, we can pull them up. Form of identification, we can process them from there.
We've heard a lot of good information about what CBP is offering travelers. Can you give us a final summary?
So global entry guarantees that you're going to be expedited through. It's a program you're paying for. You're saying I'm low risk. You're passing the test. So there's a level of expectation that you get with global entry. You will be expedited. There's no expectation that you won't wait at all. But with global entry, of all of them, you're going to be prioritized over MPC, over the general traveler. MPC, we want more individuals to use MPC because it allows us to be more efficient, and it helps everyone. It helps the traveler, it helps the officer, it helps the port authorities who are trying to bring in more passengers. MPC, there's no guarantee you're not going to wait, but you will wait less with MPC than you would if you joined the traditional non-expedited queue. We, at all the major airports, we have separate lanes for MPC. So you will see the benefit of using MPC, and then you don't feel the wait as much.
Yeah. And I love your pro tips too about if you're waiting for your interview, but you're conditionally approved for global entry and you're flying out of Dulles, try doing your interview if you have time by just walking into the office. And then if you are a family, check out MPC because it'll help expedite both their job and your travel plans.
Everybody wins. What's not to love?
Yeah.
So holiday travel season is coming up. Do you have any pro tips or just general tips for the traveler as they make their way through the airports?
Pro tip, if you don't travel often, download MPC. Like that's, I can't say it enough. Like MPC is the way to go. U.S. citizens, LPRs, Canadians, returning ESTA, MPC, especially if you have that last minute holiday travel. Don't stress about not being global entry or joining a long line. Download that MPC app. Declare your items. Pro tip number 2, when you get here, declare your items, especially if you're bringing back cultural products or products from, the country you're coming from that are agricultural items. We will find it. We have agricultural canines. They're beagles.
I was just about to ask about the Beagle Brigade.
Everyone loves the Beagle Brigade until they find you with an apple that you forgot about in your bag. And those little guys have some very strong noses, so declare all the food items you had. Nobody wants to embarrass you by sending you to secondary when the rest of your family is going on their way. So declare everything. And reach out to us ahead of time. If you know you're going to travel somewhere, like we have an office in the main terminal next to Starbucks. It's where our global entry office is and our entry and clearance offices. So if you ever have a question, you can go there. There's a CBP phone. You pick it up and you can ask the duty officer or manager, hey, I've got a travel question, and we'll answer your question before you travel. So when you come back, you don't need to be sent to secondary for an undeclared item or bringing back food that was prohibited. And whatever questions you have, we've heard them all from, what can I bring back? How much can I bring back? You can bring back as much money as you want, just got to declare it. Just for tracking purposes. You can bring back most foods, but there's certain foods from certain parts of the world you can't bring back. And our agriculture specialists are experts in their job. We'll put an agriculture specialist on the phone to give you the answers to let you know what food you can and can't bring back. Because it's the holidays. You want to bring back something that reminisces you of your childhood, something that's true to your heritage. And we just don't want you to spend all the time or money to bring that back, and then CBP has to seize it from you. So we'd rather you enjoy it there if it's prohibited instead of bringing it back and us having to take it from you.
Understood.
Great tips.
And we love to ask all of our guests, where are you flying to next?
It's easy. Florida. No doubt. Wintertime, I'm going south getting some heat. Got to see my parents, and the kids love it. Unfortunately, none of them are under 2. So they don't pass for lap childs anymore, but they'll be on that plane. Unless, of course, you want to drive my kids 10 hours and I can fly peacefully with my wife.
Yeah, fun in the sun. Well, thank you so much, Rob Diaz, for coming on, and thank you all for listening.
Thanks. All right, that was a great conversation. What'd you think, Ryan?
I was so excited to hear from CBP because if you've been to Dulles specifically, you've seen all of the things that we've been promoting for Mobile Passport with that fun 90s infomercial. So it was great to hear from the source and just to hear that they are thinking about all these programs that can benefit you, the traveler.
Absolutely. I have definitely known from personal experience how great these programs are. I love global entry. I recommend Mobile Passport Control to all my friends who don't have global entry, so I know that they just make life so much better.
Yeah, and specifically hearing from Rob recommend Mobile Passport for families, what a good pro tip this travel season.
Absolutely. I will definitely be telling my friends about it.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, where can people contact us if they have any comments or questions?
You can send us an email at info@thecapitalrunway.com.
Excellent. And next time, Charles will be back to join you. And until then, we hope that you have a great start to the holiday travel season.